Welcome back. I have some painting events coming up this weekend, so I'm just making sure that I have all of my teaching references ready. And I thought I'd show them here in case anyone has taken one of my painting classes or come to a paint and take and wants sort of a reminder of the things that we covered. So first up, what this base is, in my events I try to show both traditional opaque acrylics as well as some of the jazzier stuff like the speed paint or contrast paint, whatever brand you prefer. So this guy is sort of an example of the progression when using the speed paints, right? So we start with our Zenithal Prime, or maybe a gray primer with some heavy dry brushing. And then as people begin to apply the speed paint, I recommend that they go geographically separate regions if they're going to switch colors, right? So on this guy, this is only a 20 millimeter miniature. It's really quite small. But here we do the beard, then we jump down to the ground, and we switch over to the small of the back. And the reason that we're doing that is because those speed paints have such a long drying time, we don't want them to touch wet to wet unless we expect the colors to be the same on both areas. Moving around the model gives them a little bit more time to set up and prevents some of those mistakes. It's much more important when you're doing these dark areas. If the adjacent area is going to be light, I would typically recommend doing the light area first. And this way, if you splash over, the dark area can kind of tidy itself. But if you get dark over light, it's really going to be difficult with speed paint alone to cover that up. You're really going to need to sort of reset the area with an opaque paint and then bring your speed paint back in. So after that first thing, as areas begin to dry, people fill in the rest of the figure, sort of one coat of speed paint over each area. So in this version, they've also done anything that's going to be metal in a dark color, either dark brown or dark gray. This way the metals will have something to reflect off of, and you won't see any weird spots if the metallic paints don't settle. You might have some undesirable little white dots everywhere, whereas the dark ones look a little bit more dingy and more like rust or damage. And then over here, we jump to the metal and a little bit of highlighting. So you can see we've put metal over the shoulder pads, on the weapon, and on the helmet. And then as we did the helmet, we went back with our brightest metal color, in this case a light silver, and hit just the edge there and there, as well as framing the face to try and get a little bit more definition.